Hey folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. Today, Monday, May 17th, 2010. Well, the markets are lower again, although they are rallying off the lows of the day as the euro rallies and the dollar starts to fall back. Now, initially, early in the day, we gapped slightly higher, but again, as soon as we gapped up in this market, the euro started to collapse. Again, the dollar started to rally, and that pushed the markets down suddenly, really for the first couple hours of trading. Once we got to about midday, the euro began to rally back a little bit, the dollar began to pull off the highs, and as I just mentioned, the markets, as you can see right here on the SPY intraday 10-minute chart, have rallied off the lows of the day and are actually coming back decently. We're still down about $1 on the SPY, which is a decent amount still. Dow is down about 85 points, NASDAQ down 18, and S&P 500 down about 9.5 points. But overall, that's a basic cut in half of the losses we were seeing earlier today on the exchanges. All right, now, a couple other things to go over, folks. We have to talk a little bit about oil. I put out some big calls on the hot charts and alerts on the Pro Trader watch list today, and again, they're already starting to work out, in my opinion. We're seeing some good moves ultimately from the lows of the day on the USO. I'll just punch that one up. You can see this is already starting to turn up, and again, why would that be turning up? Mainly because we are seeing that dollar starting to pull back just a little bit, and sure enough, that's helping oil get off the lows of the day. Now the USO is trading back to 33.90 on the afternoon session, early afternoon session here, and we'll see again where this closes at around 2:30 p.m. Eastern time once spot crude closes, of course, and the USO will remain trading, obviously, for the rest of the day. The dollar taking a look, folks. Look at the dollar fade off the highs of the day. This is a beautiful pullback. This is absolutely helping these markets recover just a little bit. The dollar, again, in my opinion, is probably nearing a high level. I think, again, we will see the dollar pull back over the next few sessions in the short term. The euro as well, I think, is oversold at this point. We can take a look at the FXE. And again, as I mentioned, and I gave this to the guys on Friday night in the nightly video in the Research Center, in the nightly Technical Analysis Research Center video portion of the Research Center, I said, basically, look on Monday for a buying opportunity of the euro. Also look for some opportunities in oil and some other commodity stocks. When they hit lows on Monday, you will look for a bounce back, and we are seeing that exactly. And again, these are all alerts that go out in text message, email, and also posted all over the website in the Research Center for all of them to see. Plus, obviously, if you're in the chat room, you're getting these calls live as they're made as well. Now, again, let's go back to the SPY. Let's talk about some levels here. As you can see, we came down, pierced the 112.50 level, went all the way below 112, touching just below. But interestingly enough, folks, the close below 112.50 you never confirmed. Notice this is a key confirmation signal in the money stocks indicator, and sure enough, this market reversed, never confirming a move below, and sure enough, you've traded up off of that. The in the money stocks confirmation methodology signal, again, is something that we pride ourselves on using, and it's about 90 to 95% accurate, almost always. Amazing technical signals here to tell us which way this market's going to go, and without confirmation, you knew this market would trade back up, and sure enough, it has come off the lows beautifully. You could easily go long at that point and just ride it slowly up until you see us hit maybe the 50 moving average or so in the next few minutes or next 30 minutes of trading. Now, just going over a couple other stocks. What are some other stocks that have been pounded today? AK Steel has been pounded ultimately today, but this is another commodity stock that you have to say to yourself could be a little bit of an opportunity here. It's already come well off the lows of the day by about 40 cents, and that's a nice little move, 30, 40 cents off the lows of the day here, retracing back up. And we should all know again, why? Because the dollar is starting to pull back. As long as the dollar pulls back, this market will rally, and I want you guys to be clear on that. It will continue to happen. All right, the key is the euro needs to bounce. If the euro bounces, the dollar will again fall back down. You will see commodities start to go up. That'll mean ExxonMobil, Chevron, and a lot of these other commodity plays will rally. That will help the market overall rally as well. And again, the market wants a weaker dollar right now. The fact that the euro is so weak, that's telling us that, again, demand for commodities could be hurt here because of the problems in Europe. If the euro could strengthen, that would mean maybe people are now beginning to think, wait a minute, the euro is going to tell us, ideally, when Europe gets out of this mess right now, if they get out, then demand for these commodities can increase. And overall, we all know commodities rallying will help the markets move up, as again, commodities are a huge portion of the S&P 500 and so forth in the indexes. Now, going to gold, guys. GLD was up earlier in the day, but as the markets have slowly rallied back and panic is subsiding, we're seeing the gold start to fall back here. It's not down much. It's only down 27 cents on the GLD, but nonetheless, that is coming back just a little bit, all right? Also, some other stocks to watch. If the euro starts to strengthen up, keep an eye on some of the solar plays here, something like STP or CSIQ. They have a lot of exposure to the euro, and again, they could see see a little bit of a movement to the upside off of that should that happen. All right, so keep a close eye on the solar plays as well as the commodity plays. And again, solars are essentially a commodity basis. Now, obviously coming off of oil. When oil moves up, then you see commodities and solar stocks obviously move up as well. And again, there was some calls out there that solar stocks need $85 a barrel. But bottom line is, even if oil were to rally a small amount, you would still see these solar stocks come off the lows, especially if the euro can rally off the lows as well. All right, let's go over some technology stocks. We'll touch on technology next, and then we'll go to financials. Technology stocks are under a little bit of pressure. NASDAQ is down about 16.5 right now. You are seeing Google down 4.5, Baidu down slightly, Research in Motion, Amazon all down on the day. Apple Computer, this is the chart of Apple. You can see Apple started out strong on the day, positive, up as much as $1 or $2 or $3, but then came in very, very sharply here, dumping all the way out. You can see, look at the climax in volume here. This is telling you that this is bottoming and going to bounce because you're seeing a flush out intraday on heaviest volume of the day. That tells you you're going to see a reversal in trend, and these are just more technical indicators. We don't use stochastics. We don't use RSI. All that junk is nonsense, folks. Can't stress that enough. We use the methodology that we've developed, and again, it's 90 to 95% accurate across the board on any chart, on any time frame, on any commodity or currency or stock or ETF, and by utilizing that, you can make your trades that much more accurate and profit that much more from it. So again, key to understand how the volume indicates here. Big volume surge on a big dump here tells you you're going to reverse on Apple, and Apple has come off the lows pretty nicely, only down about $2.95 right now. All right. Other than that, you can take a look. Goldman Sachs is getting hit today, but also coming off the lows of the day. Really sold off from the opening, gap up again, and just sold sharply for quite a bit of the day until the early afternoon. Then has come back up here. Goldman Sachs again has been sold sharply off of the back or on the back of all the kind of allegations and the civil fraud cases and investigations going on. JP Morgan's kind of in the same mess right now as well. And just to touch base on that as well, let's take a look here at JPM. And you can see right again, JP Morgan down almost 95 cents today on the day, which is again coming lower than the pivot point right here. See this pivot point from last Thursday's 1,000, or a week ago from last Thursday's 1,000 point Dow dump. This is actually below that now. These are going to be your next levels on JP Morgan at this point. Those levels as well, if you should come into either of those, probably a good short-term bouncing opportunity. All right, so keep an eye on those. We'll see again how this plays out in the afternoon session. Let's go back to the SPY. You can see the SPY, that's the daily, but we're going to hover on the intraday chart. Slow but sure, it's slowly coming back. Now, you could make a look and say this is an in spirit of bear flag, but again, it's extending itself a little long for it to be an in spirit of bear flag for now anyways. So we have to keep an eye on that. You want to see again where the dollar goes. Wherever this market trades, it's going to be pure and simple based off where the dollar is going. If the dollar's rallying, this market's going down. If the dollar falls, this market's going up. It's that simple, folks. I know it seems kind of crazy that stocks and indexes will trade directly off what currency is doing, but that's the way it is right now. Just got to get used to it and start to make money off of it like we're doing here. All right, now, a couple other things that I wanted to mention. As I said, we're talking about the SPY. Keep an eye on oil here into the end of the 2:30 time frame and then into the end of the day based off the dollar. You can see, again, USO starting to pull back just a little bit after a small gain there, coming back to the 33.80 level. We'll continue to follow that. And again, any new trades that I decide to enter or my partners enter who are chief market strategists, they will be posted on the hot charts and alerts with live alerts being sent out as they come in. Pro Trader watch list, again, will give you an idea of what our traders are watching across the board to give you a sense of where you should be looking for possible trades and why you're looking for possible trades based on the charts that are posted there as well. And again, we'll focus on all of that stuff in the afternoon session. Stay tuned for my nightly recap, 40 minutes in length, as I go over key calls, analysis, guidance, and of course, education, folks. Take care.